What's up you guys, Kasey here, and today we're going to be ranking the Halo games. Now, first things first, I'm taking into 3 accounts when ranking these games. The first one's going to be favorability. Obviously, with each of these games, I've played them at different lengths at different times in my life, and so each one's going to have a varying effect on how I personally like the game. The second one's going to be the quality of the game. Each game is built differently and built better than others, so the quality is really going to take a standpoint here. Some games may have a better storyline, but overall the quality of the game may be better than another, so that's also going to be a factor. And the third, and I think the most important one, is going to be the influence. Each game has hindered and advanced, progressed the Halo series forward, so depending on whether or not the game has positively influenced or not done anything for the franchise as a whole is also going to be a factor. Now, we're ranking the 9 main series Halo games. That's Combat Evolved, 2, 3, ODST, Reach, 4, 5, and we are not counting Spartan Assault. I do not count that as a main series Halo game. Alright, so at number 9 we have Halo Wars. Now, I have the replacement case from this that GameStop gives you when you buy a used game. I don't have the actual case, unfortunately, but this will do. Now, Halo Wars was not a bad game. It paved the way for RTSs on consoles, specifically Xbox, obviously. But I'm just not a big RTS guy. Real-time strategy games are just not my thing. So Halo Wars, while it is cool, it has the Halo name to it, has a Halo atmosphere to it, the gameplay itself, it just does not appeal to me. So it goes on the bottom of the list for that, and it's really only influenced the sequel, Halo Wars 2. Other than that, it's a good game. It just falls short on my list because I'm not very fond of RTSs. At number 8 on the list, we have Halo 3 ODST. Again, I have the replacement case, but this is the last one that I have a replacement case for. Now, Halo 3 ODST is a debatable main series entry game. It's somewhat of a prequel, I believe, to Halo 3, if I remember correctly, and ODST was released shortly after Halo 3. The thing with Halo 3 ODST, though, is that while it is cool, it gives a very cool atmosphere with playing as a ODST rather than a Spartan. You're vulnerable, you don't have a shield around you, lonesome, darker atmosphere. You're trying to locate your teammates and you're switching between characters, and some of the characters are really interesting, like Buck. The thing for me with this game is I played the campaign, and then I dabbled in Firefight, but that was really it. There wasn't a lot of replayability for it. That really is just it for me. It's a cool game, but as a main series Halo game, it falls short on the list for me personally. At number 6 on the list, we have Halo Wars 2. I really did enjoy this game, but again, I'm not a big fan of RTSs. The reason, however, I place it above ODST and Halo Wars 1 is, well, Halo Wars 2 improves upon everything that Halo Wars 1 did and makes it better. It's just a more satisfying story, and it's more up-to-date than ODST. So for those reasons alone, I place it above that. Now, what do I like about this game? Well, Halo Wars 2 does a great job at reintroducing the brutes. It reintroduces the whole fact of why the brutes are such a good, interesting species that the Halo franchise has forgotten about after the events of Halo 3, I would say. Alright, now next up on the list is going to be Halo 5 Guardians. All I can say about this game is it was a complete disappointment. I was hyped. I was unbelievably hyped for this game. Got the collector's edition statue right here for Halo 5 Guardians, but this game was a disappointment. Really, it fell short in the story department. I felt that the whole narrative that you were going to have intertwining paths between Master Chief and Agent Locke was going to be a great dynamic. That we were going to have this relationship that eventually develops between these two characters that are opposed, such as Halo 2's Arbiter and Master Chief, but it falls short so bad. Really, what this should be is Agent Locke's face should be on the cover 2/3 of the way, and then you have Master Chief down here, because you barely play as Chief. And I'm not one to say that a Halo game has to have Master Chief to be great, but you do need to balance the way you market this game too. One of the biggest focal points of the way this game was advertised is how you were going to see things from a different point of view. The freaking trailer shows Chief going through this destructive site, and you find Agent Locke on the rubble, and then vice versa, you see Agent Locke's perspective and you see Master Chief under some rubble. And it gave the idea that you were going to see things from both points of views, and you're going to put the pieces together on which side you fall under. But that wasn't the case at all. I would say about 70% of the missions are as Agent Locke, 30% are as Master Chief, and just the story as a whole was disappointing. At the end of it, there's a completely rogue Cortana that does not get resolved, and it falls under the plague that most middle sequel movies do, and that's having a hard time serving as a rising action throughout the whole movie, but also having its own balanced plot. This game was trying to raise the stakes while also telling a balanced, cohesive story, and it did not do that. On the multiplayer front, however, multiplayer for Halo has not been this superb since 2, in my opinion. I'm talking purely gameplay. The way it feels, the game mechanics, shooting, everything, the weapons, feels awesome, superb. It's the best it's felt. Unfortunately though, I'm not a big fan of this ranking system, the traditional one. I'm not these different seasons, all the rec packs. I hate that crap. That makes a big turn off in the multiplayer front, even though the gameplay is superb. And that really took me away from the multiplayer. So that coupled in with me really being disappointed with the story, I fall short on the list. But it's above these other games because it's a more complete Halo game. It's still a main entry series, and I would still rather play through this than the other ones just for the fact that it's Halo 5. What can I say? That puts it a little bit above the list, but I have more fun playing this game even though the story was a big disappointment. Yes, at number 5 I have Halo Combat Evolved on the list. I don't have the original copy from the original Xbox, so I'm using the remastered one from 360. Look, Combat Evolved started everything. I kicked off the whole split screen, red versus blue, Rooster Teeth, all that stuff. It really is a true classic game and one of the most influential games in the gaming industry, and it really built what Xbox is today when it comes with the success of Halo. But playing this game now, especially compared to the other Halo games, it's slow, it's boring, it has such a light-hearted vibe to it that it feels so different going to playing Halo 4 or 3. Really, for me, it doesn't feel great. It can be a fun game, but I didn't grow up with it. I didn't start playing Halo till I was about 10. So for me, this is not a nostalgic game for me. And on top of that, I've played through this story like 5 times, and every single time it's just so slow for me. However, the influence is what puts it higher than the rest of the games I've stated already on the list. Kicked off everything, you gotta give it credit for that. And, you know, I've always been a big fan of the Mark V armor, so seeing that on Chief anytime is really a treat. Alright, so at the number 4 spot, conveniently, we have Halo 4. Now, this was the special edition or whatever steelbook case for it. I don't have the regular plastic case, so... And look, kick it back to the old days when Halo 4 had the 2 discs set up. Now, what can I say about Halo 4? This really is a favorite game of mine. Look, I know that everybody's a big fan of it. It was a big transition going from Bungie to 343. We were seeing Chief, we were revisiting Chief once again since 08 in Halo 3. It's been, that game came out in 2007 and Halo 4 came out in 2012. 5 years later, a lot's changed. We've seen the rise of Call of Duty take over multiplayer, and Halo's really taken a backseat. And like I said, we've transitioned from developers, so Halo 4 had a lot of hype going behind it, and it let a lot of people down. Understandably so. The multiplayer wasn't what we wanted it to be, but the story is really what grips me. It wasn't until I replayed the entire series 1, 2, 3, and 4 through the Master Chief Collection that I really understood this. But Halo 4 is a pivotal story point moment, and the reason for that is because Halo 4 transitioned the series from a very serious, dramatic, somewhat soap opera-esque atmosphere. We see Master Chief become more of his own human. He becomes more of his own character. Not only does he have more dialogue, but he has more feel to him. We get a sense of who he is, what he's thinking. Cortana completely just, her performance in the game just, it takes breath away from what came before. I mean, you really feel for Chief and Cortana. You feel like it's not really a love story, but it's more of a family relationship. These two, they're not just partners in crime. I mean, look, the opening mission with Chief waking up, cracking out of cryo sleep, you're revisiting the Covenant, and eventually you meet the Prometheans, and then you rescue Cortana. It's really a great way to revisit Chief again. And I really enjoyed the story. The Prometheans are a really cool species. New weapons that are introduced in the game at the time they sounded great. The sound effects in this game are great. It looked amazing. I really felt that the story was such a huge plus, in my opinion, that it takes it all the way up here. We look at Chief as more of a full character now because of Halo 4, but that's my opinion. Now, at number 3, we have Halo 3. Oh my, what can we say about this game? It is a delight to play. Halo 3 kicked off the Xbox 360 2 years after its release. Coming out in 2007, it came out swinging. Incredible graphics for its time, incredible multiplayer, incredible story. Master Chief takes off right where Halo 2 left off. Crash lands on that planet I cannot think of the name of at the moment. Recruit with Sergeant Johnson, and the mission is simple. You need to get back to Cortana, and you need to rescue her, as well as saving humanity and life as we know it. Multiplayer is a blast. It's fun. It's awesome. Really, you see that shine in the Master Chief Collection. Jumping from 2 to 3, they really just tweak everything that 2 did right, and on 3 it's tenfold. But really what 3 did that was one of my personal favorites is introducing Forge. Forge is so fun when done right. Creating a custom games lobby with your friends and just playing through Forge was such a fun, memorable moment that Halo 3 deserves props for introducing that. And it really was Bungie's heart and soul poured out into this game. It was their last main series Halo game that involved Master Chief besides Reach, and it definitely delivered. Halo 3 was awesome, and it's number 3 on the list. Alright, so number 2 we have Halo 2, but I do not have the Halo 2 case from the original Xbox, so I'm going to use a Master Chief Collection case for it. Halo 2 is everything Halo should be. It's fun, it's action-packed, it's dramatic, but it's got that classic Halo feel to it. Dynamic between Arbiter and Chief is awesome. You see the Covenant side of things for once. Going from Halo 1, it was just shoot him, blast him, kill him, Master Chief save the world. But then in Halo 2, you see how the Covenant initiates things, their thought process through things, and you see a somewhat elite Covenant force turn rogue. Though Arbiter and Chief weren't necessarily buddies, by the end of the game they had a common interest, and they both respect the hell out of each other. I mean, there's one plus I can give Halo 5, it's bringing Arbiter into it just a tiny bit. On top of that, Halo 2's multiplayer is just superb. Dual wield SMGs, classic favorite. Introducing Chief with the Mark 6 armor, again, great. Like, everything Halo 2 did was just amazing, and it's number 2 on the list. Halo Reach is my favorite Halo game. This game holds so many memories. It is my favorite Halo story. Because instead of focusing on Chief, you're focusing on a team. The story does a great job of developing every single character well enough so when they each die, whether it's Cap, whether it's Carter, it was so fun to play through this story that it's well worth replaying multiple times. It's just so fun. It's a prequel to Halo 1, and it not only does it add to the story, but it gives more attention to humanity's fall from the Covenant. Multiplayer, Halo Reach has my favorite ranking system for any multiplayer Halo. You have ranks, okay? And each tier ranks, you earn XP and you rank up, you rank up, you rank up, you rank up, you rank up. Classic ranking up system, but it's the way you earn armor pieces that's the best. You rank up. Once you rank up, you unlock more armor pieces, but you're also earning credits, so you have to use those credits to buy those armor pieces. It just makes you want to buy every single armor piece. There's certain armor pieces, oh, I need to save up for that piece. Oh, this shoulder blade has a fucking knife on it. Oh, the Mark 6 helmet, the Mark 5 armor pieces from the campaign. It had a loot collectability aspect to it that keeps you so addicted to playing the game, earning credits and ranking up. But Forge on Reach is the best Forge in any Halo game. It's better than 5s, it's better than 4s, and it's better than 3s. Forge World on Reach created a whole community around building maps. It was so big and immersive. You could build all these maps, your own game types. I have memories of staying up till 4 or 5 in the morning just playing custom game lobbies, all these different game modes and maps that people have built. I mean, Forge mode, the machinimas that were created, people role-playing, creating movies. The Forge mode in Reach was so outstanding that it has a special place in my heart, where it's number 1. Shout out to God's Regret. He was my favorite forger for Halo, and that dude really made some sick maps. But yeah, Halo Reach, number 1. I will not say that it had the most influence on the franchise, but my favoritism for it holds it above anything else. So yeah, Halo Reach, number 1. Again, these are my personal picks. This is my personal opinion, and it's not factual. If you disagree with it, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your personal order. But yeah, so thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.